KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is the Urban Suite D Major. Cheryl Metal, Heath in studio with us. So you were saying, how did you get so lucky to get these features in?
It was a production company that reached out to me while I was in the hospital, and I didn't know who it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the first dominoes to fall were the Method Man and Redman tracks. And the Method Man track, I was like, cool. I was like, man, you know, Method Man is an incredible lyricist. So when I found out it was going to happen, I wrote a verse. I was like, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. And then I got his verse.
Uh-huh.
And I took my verse and I crumbled it up and I threw it in the trash. And I was like, oh my. I was like, did he just send me the dopest verse I've ever heard him spit? So I went to the studio, and me and Joe, my bass player, we were working on the drums and the bass for the song.
Yeah.
So we just had his verse on repeat, and for like 2 hours while we're creating an original melody for this. And I think his lyrics just burned in my head.
Yeah.
The next morning I woke up, I keep a pad beside my bed so I can, write things down and go back to sleep. And I had a couple of lyrics, because his whole thing, he had the same flow and cadence throughout his entire verse. And it said da 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 dum da da doom da 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 doom da 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 doom. It's like, all right. So in the morning, and the song's called The Truth. And I was like, so I had these lyrics, the line about the loot, and we trying to recoup. Like, that's exactly what he's doing. Write that down. I'm like, okay, go back to bed, get that out of my head. And a couple more lines came to me, and I wrote those down. I'm like, okay, now I'm trying to get some sleep. It's 5 in the morning. I'm trying to get some sleep. Couple more came to me, so I wrote those down. Couple more, as I'm writing them down, it just started cascading. So a couple more came, and then next thing you know, I was 12 measures into a 16 measure verse. So I'm like, well, I'm up now.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and finish this up.
Yeah.
And I took it to the studio that day, and I told my bass player, I'm like, dude, you're not gonna believe this. I wrote a 16 with the exact same cadence and rhyme scheme that Method Man used, and I didn't use the same words. And he's like, there's no way. So I'm like, put the beat on. And he put the beat on. I did it for him, and he's like, dude, I didn't know I could do that myself. So I gave myself a high five, and I recorded the vocals, but usually the first time I record the vocals is kind of a placeholder, so that I can listen to it and see what I want to do differently. And that's exactly what happened. And then then the song grew and grew and grew. And like I said, then my saxophone player came in to see what we're doing, because all we had were we had gaps. Like, we don't know what we want to do for, if we're going to do a chorus, what we're going to do here. And that's where the third part of the three-headed monster comes in and shadows my sax player. He's like, what we need is a saxophone triangle breakdown. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of anything like that. So that's exactly what we need. I'm going to go get a triangle. So I went to Guitar Center and got a triangle. And they had 3 different size triangles to choose from. It was interesting. I was like, I've never bought a triangle or never been triangle shopping before.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool, whatever. I bought the middle one.
Makes sense.
I don't want to go too big. I don't want to go too small. This
sense.
One's just right.
Yeah.
And then, just went back to the studio and commenced creating more magic.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm really happy with the song. The song sounds great.
The song sounds great. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So The Truth is it's on Spotify. You can do me a solid and spend that 99 cents and actually support an artist versus streaming, because streaming pays jack.
Now,
absolutely true.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'd say absolutely true.
No, you were saying it was interesting you came across the Redman thing too, because you said it was your favorite artist.
Redman is in my top 5.
Yeah.
My top 5 of MCs.
Yes.
And like I said, the dominoes kept falling, and this whole project just kept snowballing. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm actually working with a lot of my favorite top MCs, and my top 10, I've almost checked every one of them off.
Really?
On this project list.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. I got a song in the works with Rakim.
Oh.
Number 1 I'm an old school hip hop
Yes.
head. So
Yes.
Rakim's like, I mean, first record I ever bought was Paid in Full.
Word.
That's the God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The God, that's his actual name
Yep.
on Instagram, the God Rakim, and he is that.
And he is.
Man. Between, yeah.
True lyricist.
Yeah, God.
And delivery and everything. Anytime I go into the studio, I think I want to sound like Rakim. You know?
Yeah.
I don't try to emulate anybody, but his voice and his flow, you know, Rakim is number one for me. Big Daddy Kane would be second.
Ooh, yeah.
Talk
God,
about words and voice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's oh man. That's awesome. That's so awesome. When are you looking at releasing more tracks off of the project?
So yeah, well, I mean, we're still on the heels of Funk Nasty. Funk Nasty is not old by any means. I didn't actually even get to promote it properly because, you know, my whole life changed. I had a stroke, put me down, and I had to learn how to walk and talk again. Not talk, but walk again. So yeah, so we're still doing. So I'm doing kind of both.
Okay.
I'm still releasing songs off of Funk Nasty.
Good.
And I'm still working on this new stuff that I got.
Okay.
The next song actually is coming out with Juicy J.
Juicy J.
No jet lag.
Juicy J.
You are having too much fun, sir.
Way too much fun.
Well, that's the
This
point.
is
That's why we're on
wonderful.
this planet. You know,
Yes.
is to have fun, and I'm just trying to bring fun to you. No jet lag. I respect lyricists.
Mm-hmm.
We all know Juicy J is not a lyricist.
But he brings
it's
fun to the party.
an element of fun for sure. But this track is actually becoming one of my favorite songs because I had a lot of fun with this one.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do a song with you, I'm gonna not only have fun with it, but I'm gonna raise the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring some good lyrics, some really creative stuff to it, and it's Juicy J, so I got to get a little. You know, the album's Funk Nasty. First part of it is funk, does get a little nasty, and I kept that going with this joint.
Well, it's juicy.
There's one lyric in it that it tickles me every time I hear it myself, and I pinned it. I'm not G-rated, but it came to Free Willy.
Oh man, yeah. Keep us in the loop when that one drops too.
Oh yeah, that's coming out soon.
For sure.
My artist is actually working on the cover right now. My artist is in London.
Yeah,
He does all my artwork.
Does a great job too. How did you come across him?
He did Moonwalk.
Yeah.
I got introduced to him through Mega Rand. Do you know Mega Rand?
Oh, we know
Yes.
Mega Ran.
Love
Okay.
Mega Ran.
So that's how I got introduced to Daniel.
Okay.
Again, I've never met the guy. He's in London,
Mm-hmm.
and he's only been to the States one time. And he was up in Philadelphia area. I didn't get to go see him. I wanted to go meet him, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But so I got introduced to him through Mega Ran, and ever since then, I'm like, dude, you were gonna be my artist for every project. On Funk Nasty, I did something different. Every song is set to be released as a single, and I teamed up with different artists to do every cover.
That's dope.
So every song on Funk Nasty is represented by a different artist in the artwork department.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool idea, but then, like, this guy is just head and shoulders above everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, I'm just gonna use him from now on and nobody else.
Yeah.
I kind of liked what I did, but also working with other artists is really hard because they're all on their own schedules and their own artists, and some people just don't work with deadlines well at all either.
Sure.
So, you know, it takes that off my plate because he's really professional and really solid and really dependable.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't find that a lot.
Yeah, and he does great work.
And his art is incredible.
He does great work. My God. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Heath coming up. In this block of music, we have the latest from Homeboy Sad Man, plus tracks from Thundercat and Ugly Duckling. But right now, Heath featuring Redman.
Hey.
Get this money. Do not go anywhere, y'all. More coming up. This is the Urban Suite KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.